And we're back. In more ways than one. Who's watched season 4? You dirty bingers. Did you enjoy it? Yeah. I think it's our best season, but I'm very excited. I've been to a few events in the last year, and I keep getting given T-shirts and hats and things. So what I thought I'd do is just throw some out to you people. Would that be all right? At some point along the way. Let's not get too excited yet. What would Lucifer do? Lots of these. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Do we have some questions? Okay. Who's going to go first? Oh, so committed. We're going to start over here.
Hi.
Hello.
Since you mentioned binging, and I did binge it while I was here before this. Does that help the numbers? Like, does that help to see, like, Netflix to say, hey, like, people want another season? Or is I'm not really sure how the numbers work on Netflix.
Me neither.
Because I see it a lot on Twitter where people are like, yeah, we want season 5, and I'm part of that too, but I was just wondering if, I guess you don't know, but do you think binging helps better than social media, or is it a combination of both?
Oh, I think it's, I think when it comes down to it, the numbers on Netflix are the things that Netflix are going to look at. But the fact that people are doing that watching it on Netflix and then talking about it on social media also helps. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that social media doesn't help anymore. Because it really does. It's so bizarre not bizarre, it's so lovely to be back here, but this time last year, it was so strange. Like, I came off stage after one of these things, I was going back to the hotel with the guys, and I got a call from Joe saying the show had been cancelled. And it was horrible. It was the worst feeling in the world. But I can't thank you all enough for what you've done for getting our show back. I mean, we'll never not be grateful for that. But if you've watched it on Netflix, watch it again and tell your friends, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get season 5. Hello.
Hello. Oh, I'm too tall for this, oh no.
Yeah, I know that problem.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I agree with you completely. I think season 4 is the best until now.
Oh, thank you very much.
I just finished watching the last episode, so yay. But I have a question for you. Because you were directed by Richard Spade Jr. this season. And I was wondering if you have any stories for us.
Well, I have to say that Richard, and I don't say this just because he's here, his episode this season was my favourite episode of the season. And Richard coming on and working on Lucifer was like putting on a glove. He was perfect. We absolutely loved him there, and if we do a season 5, we'd quite happily have him back for obviously more than one episode, which would be great. Do I have any funny stories about Richard? Goodness me. No, I don't. Do you know what? Boringly, no, I don't really, because he was far too professional for his own good. He really was. But he was just. What I loved about Richard was that, having known him already, for him to come on and just for people to experience what a nice, clever man he is. That was really quite comforting. So there you go. It's a bit of a boring answer, isn't it?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, he farted every day. Really lousy. There we go.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I was wondering, everybody noticed a very notable changing in your physical shape. And really, I'm sure everybody appreciated a lot. Especially in some scenes of the 4th season.
Here.
And so
I basically stopped drinking apple juice. That's what it was.
And so
Until now.
And so I was wondering if it was a production choice, or if you spontaneously decided, I want to go on a good shape for my fans. It was the true story is that it's because I lost a bet to my trainer.
So my trainer, Paolo, who's actually from Rome, who trains Leslie Ann and he trains Kevin on the show as well, and he was like, Dom, Leslie Ann, Kevin, they do men's health, they do women's health. I need you to do it. And I was like, Paolo, you don't know how much hard work that is and how much time I need to do that? And he was like, okay, if you do season 4, we do it. And I was like, all right, okay. So when we got cancelled, the one sort of silver lining was like, well, at least I don't have to do that. And then we got picked up by Netflix. I don't know if you know that. And literally the first call I got was from Paolo going, are you ready? So it was more because of that, and it was really funny because everyone thought that, people called it the Netflix body. It was nothing to do with Netflix at all. I just think they just inherited that because of an accident. But it was something that I sort of challenged myself to do, and I'm glad that we did it. And now it sort of changed the way that I am a bit. I come here 15 pounds heavier than last year.
But you worked a lot. We could see on your Instagram. Very hard.
And you're welcome.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Who wants a wristband? Oh. This could be dangerous. I could take someone's eye out with these. There we go. Who's next? Who's next for a question? Oh, Caroline. Caroline.
Thank you.
Apologies.
Apart from your family, I wanted to know, what do you miss the most when you're in Los Angeles and when you're in London? From Los Angeles and from London?
Architecture. I know, I weirdly, I love living in LA for lots of reasons, but one thing I do really feel that I miss outside of my children, of course, when they're not with me, is culture. Like, do you know what I mean? Like rich old culture. I mean, LA is an amazing place, but it's such a kind of modern place in context of Europe, for example. And so, it was really difficult for me when I first got there to sort of appreciate the city because it doesn't look that nice. But yeah, I really miss that kind of like going to the theatre and, just conversations that aren't just about movies and TV.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Round of applause.
I think it's her
Hello.
birthday.
Oh, what's on your head?
Oh, it's,
Is it your birthday?
yeah.
I mean, come on, shall we? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Chiara.
Cara. Happy birthday to you. I'm going to give you a hat. Here. It go on top of this one. Don't burn it.
Just say, figure it out.
You're welcome. Happy birthday. Sorry.
It was a good time. He's not on the stage.
So,
I didn't do it.
not much girth on that one. Anyway.
So Tom, my question for you is, why is there in season 4 there's only a few singing, and why in the final episode do you decide?
Sorry. I'll take that away from the fan. It seems to be getting a little bit aroused over here. Oh no, there's another one. So, not the whiskey, the apple juice, I mean. I do apologise. Sorry, what was your question?
So, why is there in season 4 only a few singing, and why do you all decide in the final episode to dance?
Why is there only one song? Was that the question?
Yeah.
I think, well, we only had 10 episodes now, so in order to kind of service everything that we want to do in the show, I think, as much as it would be tempting to do a song every week, I think we need to, how do I say it? We need to pick our battles. So I think we wanted to do a song, and it's always trying to find the right place to do it, so we thought we'd open with that. But the dance thing at the end, that came out of Ildi's head. She she'd seen that movie, 500 Days of Summer. Do you know that movie? Yeah. Well, you in it? And there's a sequence in that which is about someone being in a great mood and like everyone, you know, like flash mobbing and doing all that sort of stuff. And Ildi was like, I really want to open an episode like that. So that's where that came from. And I have to say, that is the most fun I've ever had at work that day. That was a right laugh. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. So, trying not to spoiler for whoever didn't see the entire season.
Who hasn't seen the season yet?
I haven't seen all of it.
What?
Wow.
Okay. Fingers in your ears, you people.
In the last episodes, you wear a lot of body makeup, let's say. So, how much is that is actual body makeup, and how much is that is CGI, and how was it preparing for that?
It's actually, there's no body makeup because that is all CGI. Yeah. The only body makeup I have is on my bum. Just, you know, to get a bit of shading in there and give it a shave.
Contouring.
Yeah, contouring, exactly. Yeah. It's like a map. Very hilly. Does that answer your question? Why have you gone red?
I was wondering about the red body makeup, but that's...
No, it's all CGI. I mean, if you saw me when we were shooting the scene, I was literally wearing a black t-shirt that had, like, ping pong balls all over it. Yeah, I know, it looks very attractive.
So it's best the other body makeup.
Yes, exactly. Hello. Hi.
I have a question also about the CGI stuff and stuff.
Just come a bit closer to the microphone.
I have also a question about the CGI stuff and stuff. There were some scenes where you were in full double mode, and right after it was back to your normal face, body, if you want. How did you film it? Did you have a break between? Because I think it might
Save the apple juice.
be quite, I don't know if it's difficult then to switch to the other, or how you filmed it, because when you I don't know how much you can express when you have these dots on you, and how much does it change, because what I really like about your acting is that with your eyes, for example, you can portray a lot of feelings and emotions. That is my favorite part of you. And so how much, that's my question, how much can you express when you have these dots and all this?
Well, it's a good question actually, because this is the first season where you've ever seen Lucifer with the devil face talking and expressing. And a lot of that is down to the fact that the technology has advanced a lot in the last few years, even since we started shooting the show. So when it comes to shooting a scene where he is devil face or devil body, we shoot it without any CGI, we shoot it as a normal scene. So when they edit it, they can come back to the bits where it's just my face without the devil face. And then there'll be like a break in filming, and it didn't take too long actually, it takes about 20 minutes to put all the dots on, and then we come back and we just film the scene again. But this year, with the dots on the face, they were able to kind of track my expressions as well as Tom, and then put them onto the devil face. So, I don't know if you noticed, but the devil face was a lot more expressive this year. Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
So first of all, congrats on your niece's birth. She looks really adorable.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I know you didn't really have anything to do.
No.
So I guess to the other end of the spectrum, you as like a creative person, how would you design the perfect character death? Maybe not on Lucifer, but maybe for a different character.
Ooh. That's a really good question for this time of day.
Maybe you should drink some apple juice before.
I think it's a great idea. I'd need a lot of persuading, obviously. This one's open. Ooh, Granny Smith's. Lovely. How would I create the perfect character death? I don't know. I mean, I think if I was thinking about the very end of Lucifer, when we end the very end of Lucifer, I've had many thoughts about how we do that. But I think it ties in with the fact that I've always had this thought. Have you seen the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Around you lads and lasses, had you for a while.
Terrible with that timing.
Welcome to the inside of my head. I've always thought about the end of Lucifer, right? So in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there's that beautiful moment in the first one with Gene Wilder, not the one with Johnny Depp. And that moment where he's really mean to Charlie at the end, and Charlie's about to leave, and then he goes and puts that gobstopper on. And then Gene Wilder's face lights up and he goes, "You won, Charlie." He goes, "Charlie, you won." And his whole thing comes about, and basically he's passed this test that Willy Wonka was doing for him. I always kind of feel like the end of Lucifer would be that Lucifer somehow has passed the test that Dad has put in front of him. And I think that test is obviously something to do with Chloe, and it's obviously to do with love, and it's obviously to do with redemption and forgiveness. So I think all of that will tie in at some point with hopefully, with the end of, when we get to the end of our show. Okay. Who wants a wristband? Woo!
Hello.
Sorry, I got very excited.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and it's about the most difficult scene you had to shoot in season 4. And just another one, you had more chemistry with Lauren or with Inbar?
Well, I like to think that Lauren and I have got good chemistry, and we sort of took that forward this season. With Inbar was so much fun, like to come and join the show and just do what she did and like make so much of that character. I just thought she was fantastic, actually. She was so much fun to work with. In terms of the hardest scene, gosh, I mean, there was a few this season, but I think when, we were really getting down to it on the emotional stuff this season, and I think, filming that last scene with Lauren was really, we both were really emotional during it, because it was a real kind of climax in our story. So that was tough. I mean, gosh, I enjoy going to work every day on Lucifer because there's so many different things to do. And what some people might see as a difficult scene, I kind of like relish. I look forward to doing stuff like that. So there was nothing that was like particularly tricky or too difficult to do, but I found myself like emotionally in a different place this year after a lot of scenes. But I think that was because where our story had gone to.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I like your t-shirt. What does it say? Detective. Hello, detective.
Hello.
Hello, detective. Oh, sorry. Turn it off.
I'm sure you've been asking many times, but what's your favorite part of playing Lucifer? I mean, in this season, because I feel like he's more mature in his twisted way. So, what is your favorite part of his personality? To play with it?
Ooh, I mean, I've always, from the start, I've loved having fun with the character because he's a character you can just, he can go and comment on anything that's around him, and that's a sort of fun aspect. So, and they've always been good with me and letting me sort of improvise slightly in those moments as well. So I always enjoy making other actors laugh when they're not expecting something. The most enjoyable aspect, not just about this season, but just generally playing Lucifer, is that I get to do so many different things. I get to do fun stuff, I get to do singing, I get to drive a really cool car, I get to, do lots of fight scenes. There's just different things to do every day, and that's such a gift for me because I kind of, you don't get that on every job. Such a multifaceted kind of experience every day. So that's kind of, I'll always think that about this job, that it was the job that let me do so many different things. Like Dick Van Dyke. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
With a better accent.
Thank you. Hi.
Just a quick question.
Just a quickie.
Yeah.
Hello.
Quickly. We all know what Lucifer thinks about Dan, but what do you think about Kevin?
Daniel. Well, people who know me and have met me and Kevin together know that we are really, really good mates. He is one of the most wonderful human beings. I mean, I say that about all my cast, but I mean it. I've just got really lucky on this one. I'm surrounded by really great people. But Kevin is an absolute joy of a human being. But also, isn't he a fucking great actor? Yeah. This season, didn't you think Dan this season was just like, I called him several times when I was watching it going, Kevin, you're really good. And he was like, thanks, you've just noticed.
Thank
you. Hello.
Hello. So I wanted to know what you thought the very first time you saw Lucifer as the full-on devil.
Do you mean the full-on devil at the end of this season?
Yes.
Not which might happen if people who haven't seen it. That might happen. I was really excited actually because when we started talking about, because we'd only seen the face and all that sort of stuff so far, I was really excited about that prospect. So I kind of I sat down with Joe and Ildy and we sort of talked about how we were going to physicalize this character and take it from the page onto the screen. And I just thought, it was a lot we went a lot further than I expected us to go, to be honest. But for the betterment of the show, I think it just it was a nice surprise that that's the direction we were going in. But it was when I saw the artwork for the devil, and then when I saw it on screen afterwards, I was like, oh my god, this is really good.
Agreed.
Oh, thanks. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
I wanted to first say I just finished watching the new season last night at 2 in the morning, and it's fantastic. It's just such a wonderful season.
Thank you very much.
I feel we're all so lucky to get this additional season. My question, I'm sorry if someone's asked this already, I was stuck in the line outside for a little bit. My question is about whether you've seen the binge report ratings that just came out.
I saw that last night.
Yeah, you guys beat Game of Thrones. So you're number one. And more broadly, Netflix is pretty cagey with the public about how shows are doing and how much they're watched. Do you get any info? It's been out a week now. How's it going?
They're as cagey with me as they are with you guys. No, they don't. But I've had little bits of kind of I know that they're really blown away actually from the social media kind of response to it. I don't think this is new territory for Netflix. When they took on Lucifer, I don't think they realised the power of the Lucy fans. So they're a little bit like, oh my god, they're still texting us, what's happening? But I think it's been a nice surprise for Netflix. I think everything's pointing in the right direction. I don't want to speak out of turn, but that binge report made me very happy. So yeah, I'm on the Iron Throne. That's what that throne is. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
About that dirty dancing moment. So it was cut together that looked like you didn't really held him up. But did you? And how long did it take for you to shoot him? And how often did you laugh shooting?
I laughed consistently through the whole thing. Have you ever tried to lift Kevin Alejandro above your head?
No, I can't say
I mean, I know I've been working out, but come on. I don't think we would have been allowed to do it without ropes and everything as well, but I thought that actually added to the comedic nature of that particular beat, to be honest. Because when LD was like, and then I kind of got this idea that Dan sees Lucifer, and you know that bit in Dirty Dancing, and I was like, we're on the same page here. But the funniest thing was that we rehearsed it, and no one had really thought about how we get out of that moment. But Kevin was on this like pulley system, and I went, wouldn't it just be really funny if I just like threw him out and he just disappears? And we were like, yeah, and then the bit that it didn't make the edit because it wasn't quite appropriate, but at the end of the scene, Lucifer walks out of the police station and we got a bit on film of Kevin just dropping from the ceiling. just wondering what had happened. I hope that's on the outtakes, because that really made me laugh.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna try and not mess up this question because it's kind of, long.
Okay, I'll have an apple juice when you're doing it.
Cool. So, in watching Lucifer, something that really clicked for me was there's a lot of moments where people do bad crap and they blame it on the devil, like the devil made me do it. And Lucifer always goes, well, I didn't make you do anything, like I'm just living my best life here. And it kind of got me thinking about people blaming the devil for their own actions and their own free will. So my question to you is, how has playing Lucifer influenced any sort of opinions on religion, whether you were already or it sort of got you thinking?
Well, I grew up in church, and so that was basically my life until I was 18. And I think because I grew up in the church, I didn't overly think about it. It was just part of my life. But we never talked about hell or the devil or anything like that. We talked about all what I think are the nice things in Christianity, like peace, forgiveness, love, and all, the nice stuff, the stuff that Jesus was all about. But I think what I would say is that what I love about the take on this show is that we use the character of the devil to hold a mirror up to humanity and say, you guys, stop thinking that someone's made you do something. Take responsibility for your own actions. And, I think that there is goodness in the world, I really do, and I think kindness wins every time. But unfortunately, that's not the stuff that gets reported, it's all the bad stuff. But I honestly believe that, I would say I'm not a religious person now, but I understand the principle of religion and the goodness that comes out of religion, and I think that's all good. But the divisiveness and all that sort of stuff that comes out of it, that's human stuff. Yeah. That's not about spirituality or anything like that. And my personal take on it now is that it all lives within inside each one of us. Our choices and our, the way we are with people and our actions, and to suggest that something outside of your body made you do something bad, I don't buy that anymore. It's like, you did it.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do about making it better? Yeah, have a wristband. That's what Lucifer would do. Okay. You're welcome. Oh, lovely. Okay, who's next?
Buongiorno, Mr. Ellis.
Buongiorno.
Sorry for my English.
It's better than my Italian, I promise you.
My Roman accent
It's very thick, yeah, I can't quite understand.
must be a torture for you, for Lucifer. But excuse me.
That's okay.
Can I ask you a question about Merlin show? Merlin movie? You interpreted the king in that show, didn't you?
Oh, in Merlin?
Merlin.
In Merlin?
Merlin. Sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't see the show, but...
It was fantastic. It was Oscar worthy.
Have you ever seen the real sword in the rock here in Italy?
What, the sword in the stone?
In Tuscany.
There's actually here?
There is in a medieval abbey, San Galgano, called San Galgano Abbey, medieval abbey. There is a real
I wasn't aware of this. I'm quite tempted to go there and see if I can pull it out. I might be the king of Italy.
Look on Wikipedia.
I will.
San Galgano, swords in the rock.
I will.
Real, it exists.
If I go and do it, should I wear my wig from Merlin?
Yes.
To get it out of my eyes.
If you want on holiday, go to see.
I'd love to go and see the sword in the stone. You're going to take me?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Can you help me pull it out?
We agree.
Whoa, heyo.
I haven't even been drinking. The goodness me.
Can
She
I
can help
come
you pull out.
for make the show with you?
I'm a bit lost here. Yes, I'm going to say yes.
Careful. She's going to help you pull it out.
Does that answer your question? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for you, huh?
You wait there for me. But limber up, because it's probably quite, you know... Got to put our back into it.
It's real.
I want that throne. I'm addicted to thrones now. Hi.
Hi Tom. There's any chance to see a new season of Miranda soon?
Oh. Do you know, I'm going to let you into a secret. She emailed me last week. It's just to say, leave me alone. No, she emailed me last week. We've talked, actually over the last few years, we've talked about doing a couple of special episodes to sort of see what's happening with Miranda and Gary and potentially the kids. Yeah. So I think that's something we would like to do in the next few years. It just depends about scheduling and time and all that. But I've always said it's something I'll go back to, and I will continue to do that because it was a huge part of my life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
Hello. So for people who haven't seen Lucifer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
But my question is, why at the end, when you go away, you have angel wings again, when you went full body devil before?
Anyone else want to answer that question? Or, no. Basically, it ties in with the self-realizing. And I think that moment between Lucifer and Chloe at the end and what is said in that moment is the thing that brings back his angelic nature. There you go. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
During these 4 seasons, Lucifer has made many decisions. If you had the chance to change one of them, which one would it be and why?
Ooh. If he was going to change any decision in the last season, I think that he probably wouldn't have jumped in with Eve when he did. Because he quickly regretted that. I love the fact that when they pitched the idea of Eve to me last year, they were like, she's great, she's the first woman, but then she becomes like the crazy ex-girlfriend. And I was like, that's great, let's go with that. But no, I wouldn't change that because Inbar was fantastic and I think that story was great. But yeah, difficult question. I wouldn't change anything about this season. I thought it was, honestly, I really enjoyed this season.
Thank you.
Hi. First, please become the king of Italy. Now.
Okay. Done.
Second, I've seen the little special that's a Netflix put after the season with a Q&A with Dr. Linda.
Oh yeah.
And you were talking about last year here in Rome, and hearing you telling the story of how you were on your way to the dinner and you found out it was heartbreaking again. Because you probably know, but we learned about it quite immediately, and we were all heartbroken. And then the whole Save Lucifer campaign started on raging on, and we were so enraged and passionate about it. And I wanted to know if first we wanted you to shower you with all our love. So, did you feel it?
I did. I did. I mean, it was. I remember saying goodbye to Daniela last year, and I was so floored and just like, I just turned to her and went, "Will you have me back next year?" And she was like, I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. But it was weird. You know, I finished in Rome, and I knew about it, and no one else knew about it. You guys were still asking what's happening, and it was so bizarre that it was 24 hours later, and I was leaving Rome, and still there was no news. No one had said anything about it, but we knew it had been cancelled. So I got back to London, and I just didn't know what to do. And it was Rachel, Dr. Linda, that called me and said, "I think we owe it to our fans to announce it, because for whatever reason, Fox aren't." And I was like, "I think you're right, Rach." And so I I basically broke the news before Fox did. Because I just thought, fuck you, Fox. I was just, you know, not that I was ungracious about that decision, but I just thought, if you're going to make that decision, at least tell all the people that are asking. But I have to tell you, I didn't know whether it was the wisest thing for me to do, but once I did it, it was the moment that I started feeling better, because that's when my phone just went absolutely crazy. And I felt the love, the rage, the
closure.
All of it. It was just like, because I'd felt, you know, I've been coming to this for a couple of years, I've done a few conventions, I was like, I feel like I'm in a popular TV show, but I don't, for some reason, Fox don't make me feel like that. So, you know, ultimately, I would say this, Fox did us the biggest favour in the world by cancelling the show, because I now think we have the best version of Lucifer on our hands.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Hello, my king.
Hello, my horny devil. Just the tip. Yeah, that was today. Have a wristband. Woo! Sorry.
I was wondering, among all the enemies, all the villains, Lucifer went against you in the 4th season, or the challenge he had with himself. What was the hardest for you?
The hardest enemy?
Yeah, the enemy or challenge for yourself, whatever.
I think, it's a good question. I think, well, I have to say that the enemy that I feel most fondly about when I think about Lucifer was actually Malcolm in season 1, because I thought Kevin Rankin was just so creepy and brilliant as Malcolm. But, God, I mean, each year has brought a different challenge. So, you know, I thought it seemed like Mum was the enemy in season 2, but it turned out she wasn't. And, you know, that whole story with Trisha was, you know, one of my favourite moments. I think, coming back to that, what a challenge was having to kind of like believe that Trisha Helfer was my mum. Because that was quite a challenge. Because I don't normally fancy my mum. But yeah, no, that was, but weirdly, after a while, both myself and DB felt like Trisha was our mum. And now I can't sort of not call her mum, which I think she hates, actually. Just me and the cats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So I saw you in some shows I love, like Merlin, Doctor Who, and one of my favorite is Supernatural. And if I trust the internet, and I don't really, you share the same stuntman as Jared Padalecki?
I think I do, yeah, Mike Carpenter, yeah.
Yeah, so if you could have a part in the show, since clock is ticking, season 15 is going to begin, the final one.
Yeah.
What would you want to be? What would you want to do?
Well, I was at a convention a few weeks ago and I saw Mark Pellegrino. And I killed him. Too late for a recast?
I'm glad you survived.
No, he was a really nice man, actually, frustratingly. God, why are you so nice? Oh God, I don't know. I mean, the clock is ticking, isn't it? I mean, I'll take anything on Supernatural if they want me to.
I mean, unless Amanda Diaz loves time, I don't think there's much left.
Well, it needs to get that power back first. I don't know. I mean, any suggestions? What can I play on Supernatural?
Demon number 7.
Demon number 7. There we go. Third demon from the left. Does that kind of answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. I want to ask you about Lucifer official soundtrack. Can we
Sorry, say that one more time.
Official soundtrack of Lucifer.
Oh, the official soundtrack. Okay, so I was just been talking to Jason backstage, because there is no official soundtrack of Lucifer at the moment, and a lot of people are asking, will there ever be a release of the songs that you do on the show and all that? So I think I might take this into my own hands and see if we can do something about it. Because that seems to be the way these days. Now we've got Spotify and streaming and stuff like that. We might just record them and put them out there. Would you like that? Lovely. We've got 5 minutes left. What should we do?
Spin the wheel.
A song?
Spin the wheel.
Oh, there's a guitar. Where did that come from? Do we have a mic stand? Do we have a mic stand?
Don't do that to Massimo.
A stand for the microphone.
It's right there.
Do you have?
Massimo, behind you.
Massimo. There, it's there, in the corner. Massimo. Warm up, warm up, warm up. Massimo. Okay. Bless him. Is that working? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right. I don't have a capo, so I'm a little bit restricted on what we can do. Let's have a think.
Flower probably has one.
So, there's a singer called James Vincent McMorrow that I love. Who said yes? Yes! This is redemption. Why do I bother at all? There's nothing to mention. Nothing has changed. Still, I'd rather be looking for something than praying for the rain. So I wander on till someone else is saved. I moved to the coast under a mountain, swam in the ocean, slept on my own. At dawn I watched the sun cut ribbons for the bay, and I remember all the words my mother wrote. We don't eat until your father's at the table. We don't drink until the devils turn to dust. Never once has any man I've met been able to love. So if I were you, I'd have a little trust. 2,000 years been in their water. 2,000 years sank like a stone. Desperately reaching for the nest that the fishermen have thrown. Just trying to find a little bit of hope. Oh, I was holding all of my secrets soft and held. The pages were folded. There was nothing at all. So if in the future I might need myself a savior, I remember what was written on their wall. we done? You look like you're going to pull... I was going to say you look like we're going to pull me off, but that's the wrong expression.
Is it no?
Am I being hoisted off the stage? Should we do one more? Yeah. Do one more. I'm slightly restricted here with my lack of capo, so I'm going to think of something. I can either do Damien Rice, or Tracy Chapman. You know it, because you started a revolution, so let's go again. Don't you know, they're talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, they're talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Well, they're standing in the welfare lines, sitting in the doorways of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, they're talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Well, the poor people gotta rise up. Take what's theirs. Poor people gonna rise up. Take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Starting to turn. Talk about a revolution going. Finally the tables are starting to turn. Talk about a revolution going. Talk about a revolution going. We'll talk about a revolution going on. Going on. I'll see you later